Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to Galactic Civilizations IV as we're playing as the Drengin Empire. Alright, so one thing I forgot to point out in the last episode is this new supply net. So this controls how many military ships you can have. So you can no longer just construct an unlimited number of military ships and win wars solely based on your economic power. Now you will have to actually rely on your actual military abilities. So I like that. I think that's a good change. I mean, obviously economic power is still important in a war because you can build those ships faster and you're going to get faster research and more credits, all kinds of stuff. So I mean, it's still important. So we did get that colony ship constructed. Got to figure out who we want to send on it. I guess we'll get rid of Mistress Grendon since she's unhappy anyways. Let's go and put her on board. We also got the Alien World Studies tech. So now we can get the housing. So it'll be important on our new colony, considering the fact that they're already at their cap. We can get xenobiology as well. So it'll allow us to upgrade housing or get the planetary invasion. This is going to take us 8 techs to get, so probably not going to work on it just yet. Let's get this one since it's only 2 turns. And eventually we're going to want to start building some military ships. We still don't have anybody to fight yet, so it's not a priority. But it's hopefully something we'll work on soon. Let's go and send this colony ship over to here. It's called Scat. I'll probably just leave it that name as well. About to colonize this location. I think that'll be this turn, in fact. Maybe just leave that name as well. Just get rid of the one. I'm fine with that name.
Colossal Precursor Accelerator is hovering around an unnamed planet. We have managed to harness this device's power to build even more potent propulsion systems. Every ship constructed here will experience a substantial boost in speed. Moreover, some of our scientists believe they can utilize the accelerator to refine Elerium-2 and are eager to perform some experiments. What would you like them to do next?
So I think we should get the +1 shield strength. So basically this would be a good location to construct ships. So we'll want to prioritize that. Obviously can't do anything there just yet because we need to get a governor. Let's see if we've got anybody decent to send over there. I guess there's this Baron character. 10% pollution in manufacturing when appointed as governor because they're industrial. Yeah, that makes sense to put them there. They have okay intelligence, but the diligence is 8. Yeah, I'm fine with this character. So let's go and hire them. It's going to be 246. And then set them up as the governor. So as far as how they compare with the Disciple, other than the fact that the Disciple has that bonus there, Disciple is more intelligent. They have the same social skills. Disciple's less diligent though. So that'll allow us to start building here. Though first, let's get a planetary improvement. We'll get the recruiting station so that they can grow a bit faster there. And then we want to get that core world capital, and it's going to want to be right there because we actually have a population location, and this is a good one. This is +3, so that's going to make it really good right from the beginning because you're going to get the increased population cap and income. So this is going to be a solid location right from the start, guys. Manufacturing's low as you expect from a new planet, so let's get the planetary generator, and this is good for the manufacturing and military, so let's put it right there. So that's going to take us 8 turns to get that constructed.
The governor has unfortunately not done a good job of establishing a justice system on their planet. Instead of managing the situation at a local level, they are asking that our capital's lawmakers intervene and handle the issue. It's quite disheartening that such interventions are needed to compensate for one governor's incompetence. But we find ourselves with little choice. If we don't take action now, we risk a significant increase in crime across this world.
So this would grant us some loyalty with the Disciple and also would reduce the crime. Could just go with this and then they'll be less loyal and you'll get more crime, so just negative overall. You know, we're going to do this one here because, you know, we got plenty of credits. So let's go ahead and spend them to actually get a benefit there. Remember, we want to do the Impressed Citizens as soon as we get that 4 months done. There's so many locations we could be colonizing. So we want those free colony ships. as soon as they are available to us. So we did get this construction ship over here, and I think we're gonna set it up right there. Yeah, let's set it up right here. I just like that location a bit better. I don't think there's any other resources around here, so that doesn't really matter. But yeah, we're gonna build it here. That's the mining starbase, and we will want to get the mining drones. All right, excellent. So now we're getting another source of thulium and also the Prometheon, which I do think we have. Yeah, we have the thulium right there. Also, we can get a trait here for totalitarianism. If we wanted to get, let's say, I don't know, if we wanted to get the detached, that would cost us 23, and we only have 16. That would grant us 10% income on all worlds and 3 free supply ships. So while that would be nice, I want to continue down this branch here. We get the double ship experience or reduction of crime. Let's get the ship experience. You don't get these traits very often, and so I want to make sure I'm getting that, even if it doesn't really help us at this moment, not until we start warring. So we do have to assign our probe ship. I've got one being constructed already, but we really want to get down to this area. So let's go ahead and send that one over there as well, so we can have 2 of them exploring. So we could get the universal translator, and I suppose that's what we would do. Yeah, let's go ahead and get that one. It's going to be 2 turns. To research that gives us some nice things. And again, it's nice and fast. And then this probe ship, which has finally reached this area up here. I'm going to take a look at that star, and I'm expecting to find somebody else here. So we got the universal translator. Right, excellent. We could get the subspace frequency system. Gives you another enacted policy. Probably what we'll get. It only takes 2 turns. I mean, all these are solid options. We'll just get that because it's going to be the quickest for us to get. So we're still not going to work on combat ships just yet. Let's get the constructor. Gotta get our economy set up first and do our expansion. Then we got that probe ship finished up over here. So let's go over to this star next. So yeah, we already explored that one. So we want to explore this area before somebody else seizes control of those locations. I do have access to the market here. Could sell, and then we have or buying new stuff. So this probe ship uncovered just some anomalies. Nothing else really exciting over here. We'll go over to this location next, and then we'll go here and then up there. Again, not putting them on the auto explorer just yet, because it is imperative that we control them and send them where we actually care about expanding to. We are nearing the population capacity, so maybe we should make use of this now. It'll take 5 turns, and once we get that, we can use it here on our capital planet.
As our colonial territories thrive beneath the glow of alien suns, they become a melting pot of cultural diversity and self-sufficiency. This blend stokes their aspirations for increased independence. Their voices travel across the vast expanse of space, resonating within the corridors of authority on the homeworld. They passionately plead for the freedom to shape their own futures. Now, you are faced with a decision. Will you grant their wishes, weaving their distinct viewpoints into the wider fabric of governance, or will you resolutely maintain the concentrated authority of the homeworld?
Yes, I feel like offering a compromise through deeper integration would make the most sense for us. And also just straight up refuse them. It does risk rebellion though. Yeah, we'll go with that one. Cost more maintenance. That'll cost us a monthly income, so that's unfortunate. Do we have any Durantium? We do. Okay, so what we'll want to do, I mean, I suppose they're at the cap, so we won't do it here. These guys will probably approach the cap pretty quick as well. Our growth is fantastic when we have the recruiting station there. So I suppose we don't have to put the colonization center on there just yet. Yeah, we'll just hold on to it. Could also get something for farming. Our food is a bit low. We're not really great farmers, and there's lots of stuff for us to research over here. So let's do we'll do the capsule next. So yeah, we have some space junk we could also get, and also we can use the impressed citizen. So we're always using that as soon as we can, since we don't have any problems when it comes to control.
Our flagship encounters a celestial phenomenon that inspires awe. This appears...
We're not going to listen to that. We just got a whole bunch of influence. That's what matters. So with the new colony ship, where do we want to send them? Well, let's use our probe ships. I doubt we're going to uncover anything, but you never know. Yeah, they're not going to uncover anything over here just yet. Not close enough. But I'm wondering if there's going to be like a good colony over there. Because we're already getting these locations. I suppose we could grab some of these. There's also this one here that we need to get. I suppose we'll send them over there. Even though it's not a great location, just going to be sending resources back to our capital planet. But you know what? We're getting a colony ship here. It's going to be 12 turns, so going to take a while. And I'm not entirely sure we keep getting these construction ships. I mean, I'm not complaining or anything. It's nice. Going to get the Durantium and the Promethean. Yeah, we keep getting them hopping up around this location here. Then this probe ship, I'm going over to here next. And then get over to there. And yeah, still haven't found anybody. I mean, this is not like a huge map or anything. Did get that subspace frequency system, so that's going to give us another policy that we can enact. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Could get those defensive studies next. I think we're actually going to get this for the influence growth and the culture points. That'd be nice to have. I know it's 5 turns here, but that's okay. We're going to work on that one. And we have this empty slot. And now I think it would make sense to go ahead and get the slave labor to reduce the overall maintenance. People are going to absolutely hate us because that's a -1 and that's a -1, and we already have some negatives from our civilization. But that's okay. We don't care. We got another investigator. All right, excellent. So this is another flagship, and we actually have something nearby, this capsule, that we can send them to investigate. So we'll have them start working on that. And again, we're just going to leave this named Scat. And we're also colonizing that one. That one doesn't matter.
Of sentient quadrupeds inhabit the forests and hills of the planet in question. Despite numerous efforts, all attempts to communicate with them have been futile. From the moment your colony arrived, these creatures have been relentlessly attacking. While they pose no significant military threat, they have proved a considerable nuisance and can easily massacre unguarded civilians. As expected, when the risk of massacre is more than just a theoretical possibility, the morale amongst the colonists is quite low. What instructions do you have?
So we're going to capture these creatures for our invasions. So I think that makes the most sense there. So now we need to assign another governor. So let's just take a look at our current leader options. Nobody that has any social skill. We do have a very intelligent doctor over here. This character, this Madame Mac, is even more intelligent, and she seems like she has a pretty interesting story here. Probably the best option, guys. So we're gonna get her hired. We might want to take a look at our governors as well, or excuse me, our ministers, because we have a minister of defense. Resolve is a stat that matters for this position, and I think it's a really important one. So you know, we're gonna move Madame Quinther over to that, and then with the minister for exploration. I mean, we don't have anybody here that has good diligence, unfortunately. We'll just hire the doctor, I suppose. I mean, it's still the same amount of moves that we're getting. It's just less ship range. And of course, Madame Mac is going to be on Scat. So much better intelligence than our other two characters. Also better diligence, but the lower social skills. So you see how those affect everything here. Alright, so that's going to allow us to get something assigned here. Of course, for the first thing we want to get is the capital world planet. Not seeing any population locations. In fact, this is kind of a crappy planet. It's real small, and there's only one central location where you can get the bonus all the way around it. Yeah, it's just that location, the wetland. Great place to build a city. Let's put it there. I'm sure that nothing's going to go wrong being in a wetland there. And then we'll want to get the planetary generator right here because it's manufacturing, also next to the military. So we'll work on that next, just to get their manufacturing up before we build the shipyard, since you know that takes a while. And also, you know, we've seen with our other planets, when you build the shipyard first, you're not able to actually build anything very fast there because you don't have any military. So we found another location to colonize. I was afraid that that was going to happen right after I got that colony ship going over to there. So kind of a shame because I would have rather had them come over here, but we are getting another one. It's going to be 11 turns though. Okay, so we have to get that. So I'm going to try and get ourselves a colony ship. We have to wait 5 more turns before we're able to make use of that. That's probably the way we're going to get the colonists. And then we're also moving over to this star here. It looks like they've already used all their movement points. And then our constructor ship here is going to get the Durantium and the Promethean. So let's build another mining starbase. And we can't get the mining drones because we don't have any more modules. Manufacturing here is still terrible, so let's get the starport right there. It'll take 13 turns to get that done.
On the planet has led to mutations of both our livestock and wild animals. A local turtle was discovered with its tail and head reversed in a somewhat humorous turn of events. The locals have even begun calling it the Governor Turtle. On a more serious note, if we aren't careful, these mutations could continue to spread, possibly even amongst our population.
So we can say, perfect, have the Governor Turtle brought to my private zoo, no change. Probably what we're going to do there. Yeah, we'll do that one. So pollution has become a problem in our capital. We could get rid of one of the orbital stations here for the growth if we wanted to. Since growth is already really fast here and we're next to the cap. And this would deal with the pollution. I mean, the pollution probably isn't that bad. Let me just take a look at just how bad it is. It's 57%. Okay, so it's a little bit of an issue. Starport is what's increasing it the most. Yeah, sure. We'll get the atmospheric cleanser. You can see we're doing much better in the civilization rank. We're still first here in influence and income, but now we're first in research capacity, and our manufacturing has gone up as well. So we're seeing those increase, those numbers. And we still haven't found anybody. A little surprised with that. Yeah, there's nothing over here. So next, I suppose we'll go over to this location. So we got all these probe ships moving down here. Found ourselves another planet to colonize and some thulium. That looks like that is it here. Oh, maybe not. So we want to just make sure we explore all this and then head over to this location. So yeah, we'll go there next. It looks like we have finally found another civilization. Okay, so we'll meet them soon. We'll explore this location more, I suppose. But basically, we need to... Well, this shows us the most populous civilizations. We're number 1. Excellent. Yeah, we really need to get over here and colonize that then. So we could just wait 2 more turns. That's probably going to be the fastest way because an occupier would take 4 more turns. So clearly that's the best option. Just wait for that. So here on the capital planet, we have to increase the population cap. Now we did just get that one thing that we can make use of. We're still going to go ahead and get a housing district because this also increases 1+ level to everything around it, and that would boost the capital city, increasing the income and the population cap there. Now, placing this one here, probably not the best place, but it will boost everything around it. So you're going to boost that starport, and if you built, whatever you built here, a science location, that'll get boosted as well, the manufacturing, everything around it. So we're going to start working on that. That's going to take 7 turns. Now, one thing I did forget about volcanic planets is that they do have that plus 30% to pollution. I was wondering how we got our pollution up so high so quickly, and that's why. So here in our vault, we have that vernal spear. I thought this just increased the population capacity, but it actually grants a your citizen. So that would not be good to do on our capital planet since we have all those natural league people who wouldn't want a robot on there. So maybe we'll put that on our new planet. So get them another population since they're the only one that are currently underneath their population cap. The citizen isn't very good. Intelligence is, I guess, decent compared to our pops. But the synthetic life, not bad. That's increasing the approval. Could just enslave them. But with that high intelligence, once we have access to the scientist, we'd probably want to make this a scientist. I said high intelligence, obviously 5's not high, but it's high compared to the rest of our citizens. And these are all just citizens, so what we're going to do is make somebody a worker. So we'll make this character here a worker. You know, we might do another one just because our current manufacturing is so bad. So we want to get the shipyard here. That's going to be in 7 turns, so we did speed it up since we got the planetary generator. So yeah, we'll work on that next, and I suppose that's the end of our turn here. I suppose we do still have our probe ships. We're going to go explore over here. Since we've got these guys over here, I can see what's at this location in this one. Alright, so that's going to give us those culture points and the influence growth and a bunch of other stuff as well, so it's helpful. I suppose we want to get the asteroid mining next. Yeah, it makes sense to finally get that. And one of our shipyards has finished up their construction, so this isn't our capital. We could get another occupier, would make sense too since we are at the cap. We need a bunch of stuff really though. Yeah, there's tons of stuff, constructors we could use. Let's get the occupier though, guys. We need to start getting these colonies set up now. We already know that we're going to use the impressed citizens as soon as we're able to. 1 more month for that cooldown. Seems we have something new here, Galactic Festivals. That's just for the tourism. Not something we particularly care about. So let's go ahead and get probably the Durantium down here, because yeah, we don't want them getting that set up. And also we could get this done before we can get the colony ship, so we'll start working on moving these guys down here, since that's thus far the only civilization we discovered, so that's where we're really competing for territory. So this flagship has finished up, so we'll go with the space junk next. So we'll see an event, and also this investigator has finished up, so there's going to be 2 events, and we're going to go over to this artifact over here next. Let's take a look at these 2 artifact events.
The captain of your flagship has reported the discovery of a lost cargo container floating in space. It appears that this device can be secretly slipped into the orbit of an enemy planet, which in turn would raise the crime rate of that planet. It is indeed a very cunning and devious device.
Sure, why not? We always like hurting enemy civilizations without actually having to send our fleets over there.
Your top captain has reported the discovery of a lost cargo container floating in space. When they opened it, they found an advanced robotic servants module. This device has the potential to significantly improve the efficiency of a planet's workforce. Now, the decision is up to you. Do you store it for future use or sell it for credits?
Let's make use of it. I'm not entirely sure exactly what it'll do. We'll take a look at it now. So it's +1 your citizen. Okay, so we could just put the your citizen over here since we already have 1. They already are at their cap, so it wouldn't matter if we put them there or put them over here. We don't have anybody in the natural leagues anywhere but our capital. It's kind of a bummer that that happened on the capital of all places. There's also this location. I did forget. We have this one and they have a lot of caps. So you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. We're going to put the your citizen here. And then we'll see if we want to change up their job. Yeah, they're not as intelligent. So you could imprison them, but there's really not any benefit of doing that since we haven't built the prisoner camps just yet. This character here has okay diligence, so you could make them a worker just to get a bit more manufacturing there. But I didn't realize that this Yor here is already a scientist, so they are producing a bit more research for us, so that's nice. I think that's our first scientist, unless I'm mistaken. We're now number 2 on influence, number 2 on research, but number 4 on manufacturing. So the manufacturing has gone up. So we'll see it's over in this location. It looks like it's just thulium. Or let me take that back. If you get the extreme colonization, you could colonize this toxic planet. So there is that. We need to start building up our fleet. So I want to start working on any techs that would improve our ships, get us new stuff. And that's probably going to be in the next episode. That's what I was thinking. First 2 episodes to, get the initial expansion done. And then 3rd episode, we'll start building up the fleet. This gets us the hyperlane travel. Also increases the range of our ships. That's always helpful. We're going to get that. It'll only take us 2 turns to research it. We also got our first asteroid miner. So we're going to want to do a location where a lot of these are connected. This is probably the best one, but then that would go to Orzanoth, and we want one that will go to our capital. So you have 5 here and 5 here, so it doesn't really matter which one you do. So we'll set it up right here, and then it'll get more production, manufacturing for our capital. And it seems that we actually have another one. We could do this one here, but again, this is a pretty solid location. This is a lot all combined, and so it makes more sense to go ahead and get that done. That'll be next turn. And frankly, Orzanoth doesn't need more manufacturing. Their manufacturing is pitiful. All right, so we've looked at this location. Let's go over to here next. And again, this guy's just going to go through these areas. We need more probe ships. Still don't have quite enough. I mean, you never have everything you need. And I did forget. Thankfully, we get a chance to make use of the impressed citizens. Get those citizens impressed so that we can... And it sounds like I'm saying like impress them, like make them like us or something. Because we want to colonize Castor 2. Yeah, we got to get them over there. It's going to take us several turns, but hopefully we will beat any colony ship they might have on the way. There's another amazing location over here. It's pretty far away, but I do think we want to send that colony ship that we're currently working on. I think we will send them over there. I think it's worth bringing them here so that we can have a presence in this little cluster. So I haven't gone over here just yet. I guess we'll go to that location next. So yeah, this is why it's useful having our probe ships under our own control rather than AI control initially. So we're making sure we're going to the locations that make the most sense. So we have another constructor ship over here. Not entirely sure where they came from. I'm just getting constructor ships out of nowhere. So I guess we should send them over here. And I just realized why we haven't met a civilization yet despite us finding this planet, because this is a minor world. I wasn't even paying attention. I thought their icon wasn't recognizable. But yeah, this is a minor world here, guys. So yeah, we're still not competing for anybody, but we want to make sure we grab that location as well as this one. So we're going to want to colonize both of those. But yeah, we could conquer this through an invasion, but it's going to be in our space here soon because we're working on a colony ship at the moment. And yes, we do want to get the mining base set up. So this is going to produce a ton of manufacturing for Orzanoth. So they're now up to 8.5. So they're going to get this starport constructed a bit faster. It looks like it took off a few turns. And over here, let's get to this location next. So basically, we still have yet to find another civilization. I think we should get rid of these Natural League citizens here. So we'll send them off. And this is about that ruined ring world. So I showed that in our last series. So we'll have to take a look exactly where that is at. Every civilization gets that. We can also see the hyperlanes now. So these are the hyperlane locations that you can travel on much faster. We'll have to take a look at that after we get a new technology selected. So we get the Xeno factories. I think we should really work on military type stuff, though this one would be solid as well. Only problem is it would take us 5 turns, so we'll get this one since it's only 2 turns. So with these hyperlanes, you have these stargates, and they give you 200% move to the stargates that they connect to. So that one connects over here, and they can be various lengths. So this one would be helpful for getting over to that cluster a bit faster. That doesn't help that much. It helps a little bit there. This one will get you across here. This is the really long one. That's going to be very helpful. Okay, so those are the hyperlanes that we know about thus far. We got an idle shipyard. So this is in our capital. We need to get some more asteroid miners. So we're going to work on that. We're also going to work on a probe ship as well. So try and get caught up on some of those things. So we did finish up that anomaly. That does mean that we can upgrade this ship again. And we'll probably just get the increased moves here. And then we'll work on the space junk next. And we'll see what the event is. Okay, so no voice acting for this particular event. So we can get the 25% beam attack on that ship. Or instead just get the Gigamass. Gigamass is so rare. I feel like it's more useful to get that. Obviously don't have many uses for it just yet. But as we've seen in the previous series, it is incredibly powerful and useful. So we're going to make sure that we get that. Let's go ahead and colonize this location next, and then if we get another colony ship, which I think it makes more sense to get it from one of these locations, we'll send them over to here. Colonize that amazing location there. And speaking of over here, our probe ship is done, so let's go over here. And I guess we could uncover that, so it's not really necessary, but yeah, we could. We could also just go over here instead. And then this probe ship, let's take a look, see what's all over here. And then I guess we'll go over to, we'll go over to this location next. So we got 2 probes in this area, and I'm just shocked that we still haven't found anybody. We're just like really far away from everybody else. So they must really be competing for space. And that's kind of interesting, not exactly how I wanted it to go down in this campaign, because I was hoping we'd be a little bit closer and we'd be forced to do conflict a little bit sooner. But we're starting to focus on the military research. So we finally finished up the colony ship here on Orzanoth. Good God, that took us a while. So this is for the research districts. This is a pretty good one for us to get next, I think. And we already have Gigamass theory that we could research. It'd take 14 turns though, so we're just going to get the research districts. Far too soon to work on that. And we need to set up the mining station here where we're getting both of these 2 locations. I really like it being right next to the star there. Let me see if I can move it. Well, because of that dead world, you can't really move it anywhere else where both of these Durantium will be in its influence. So let's get the mining star base constructed. And again, can't get the mining drones just yet. We actually need to step up the manufacturing on Orzanoth a little bit, so we're going to go and get a supply ship. I know we need another colony ship, but we might just get that at one of these 2 locations. I think that'd be the better way to go about doing it, and they just constructed a colony ship as well. So let's go ahead and get the asteroids here mined, getting more production in the capital. So they're at 23.5 now, so really stepping up the production there. And I suppose we did just get this colony ship, and we've already set up in these 2 locations, so unless we're just gonna get one of the poor planets, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, I could get that one, I suppose. And then there's these 2 over here. I think we should probably just go ahead and send these guys over there. I know it would take them a while to get over there. Oh, it's outside their range. Yeah, I guess that does limit us here, so we won't be able to do that. So we'd have to go to one of these poor planets then, because yeah, we're already going to these 2 locations. In fact, we're gonna get that set up now, so I'll have to come up with a name for that planet. It's another tropical planet, and that means we also need to get a governor there. And then this one is a terrestrial one, and we already have a colony ship heading over there as well. So I guess we'd just go probably after one of these 2, I think. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense since we've already established this location. Could get this one as well. But yeah, I want to get over here. So let's just grab whichever one of these 2 is best. Looks like that one is. So yeah, we need some name suggestions for these 2 planets, guys. And again, also have to get a governor there. I don't know if we have any good characters. I suppose this character would do. They also have really high diligence. Might want to use them somewhere else. We don't have the credits though. Looks like we are broke, my friends. So that's a bit of an issue. So run low on credits. Could of course just use the executive order to get the credits. So pillage the weak. Decreases approval, but gets us 400. I suppose that's probably the best way to go about getting this, because we have a lot of control. We produce 4 per month, and that's a lot more than you generally would. We found another colony, guys. This is a frozen colony, so clearly we should change up that colony ship and have them go over here instead. That makes far more sense. I'm glad I noticed that. So let's go, I guess we'll go over to this location next. Alright, so this time we have actually finally met one of the main civilizations, not just one of the minor planets. This is the Iconian Refuge. The brutal Drengin Empire has returned to this part of space. You will find that we have little patience for species bent on conquest. So we could go with either one of these options, but we won't. We're going to say, I will have your skull in my trophy case soon enough. So again, we're going to be very aggressive in this one. But if we're talking SPAC, we have got to start building up a fleet. So we're going to be starting to work on that. Again, I think we're going to do it on the next episode. After we get those asteroid miners constructed and also the probe ships. And getting more techs is always helpful too, since we'll get those modules that we can make use of when we design our ships in the next video. And we could construct a galactic achievement. That means that only one civilization can get it in the game. And so I think we should. This is the Eyes of the Universe. This will give you 10% research and also plus 20 culture points. So that's nice. Requires 3 Prometheon. Does have a maintenance cost and it'll boost any research location. So I think we should put it right here. That'll boost those 2. And then we could also build something here. Probably the technological capital. We don't have the Prometheon, so can't set it up just yet. It makes sense to put that right there. Since I'd be getting the bonuses from both of these 2 locations in, it would be bonusing that one. This one doesn't get anything from being next to the research. You know, you don't get it any bonuses with the increased levels. We can see that we do have a higher faction power than the first civilization that we currently met, because we're doing very good so far. It's only our military might. Surprisingly, you wouldn't think that was the case playing the Drengin Empire, but we haven't built any ships yet, so that's the reason for that. That's the only thing that's low. Everything else is really high, and that's the reason why we're focusing on this first, guys. Get these taken care of, and then we'll build the ships. I don't know where they are located yet, though. Okay, so they're right here. So they are in this area where I expected somebody would be. So they're down here, and probably going after that location next. So let's make sure we colonize that first. We already got a colony ship on the way.
The governor is sounding the alarm about a potential climate catastrophe on their planet. Deep crevices have started to unleash massive amounts of heat and particles into the atmosphere. In the absence of immediate action, the situation could inflict damage on this planet. However, addressing this issue would demand substantial resources.
I think we should send help, not because we care about the Disciple or Orzanoth and the people there, but because it is worth getting the pollution reduced there, guys. Because pollution actually does have a bunch of negative effects, and we just want our people to be as effective as possible so that they can work for us and our efforts in war. We're not going to use the Durantium for that. Let's just get the increased moves. And then we need to figure out where we want them to go next. Suppose there's an artifact over here they could be working on. And we'll take a look at what they got from that.
Our flagship has made an intriguing discovery. An artifact that we suspect originates from the Dreadlords. This artifact is no ordinary find. It's a weapon of immense power, capable of inflicting instant damage on an entire enemy fleet. We now face a critical decision. Should we preserve this artifact for potential use, or should we dismantle it to extract its valuable resources?
I think we should clearly secure the weapon artifact. Seems incredibly useful to have. So now we'll have that in the vault. That's a 25% damage, so reduces their hit points by 25%. So this is going to be our last turn. We do have to get all of our probe ships moved. And yeah, we'll still continue to control over here because I want to make sure they're getting in a way that makes sense, you know, going after these locations. And we found another location, a paradise planet that we can colonize, but again, that's our range that is currently limiting us, so we can't actually colonize that location just yet. So moving through here, we have a probe ship going over to these 2 locations. I guess we'd want to probably go over here and here with this probe ship then. And we did find more Durantium, and we have finally met another civilization, so this episode is where we're really meeting everybody. So this is the Archaean Republic, our old rivals. We look forward to continuing to see who will dominate this galaxy. So we say, you're not in competition with us, you're not even in the game. We are reasonable and open to new deals. Our space is big, probably big enough for both of us. Not ready to go with that option, of course. Of course. So we'll send those guys over here next. And I'm not entirely sure where they're at. Over here. Okay, so they're up in, again, what I'll call the Galactic North. And you can see they actually do have a higher faction power than us. Not going to be as big of an issue once we start building up the fleet. Since manufacturing still isn't great on this planet, we're going to go ahead and get a manufacturing district, and we're not going to put that right there, despite the fact that it would be the better location, because I think that would be better to instead put the housing district to boost the core world, and also because you get a housing district here on that on the grasslands. So we're just going to put it here, even if it's not the optimum location. Okay, so this is actually the planet where we want to be able to build the ships, not here in Orzanoth. So here we really need to get the manufacturing stepped up. We got an idle shipyard, so I think that's what they just built here. I suppose we're going to get the supply ship here. I really feel like they need to focus on getting more manufacturing in both of these locations. They'll have theirs done in 5 turns. After that, we'll have them work on the next colony ship, guys. Let's take a look at this event.
We've identified at least one planet we've colonized that is large enough to warrant the appointment of a governor.
Alright, so that's just saying that we need to appoint a governor, and I forgot that we had the monthly income for that, and we didn't hire anybody. So I do want to hire this guy. I think that's probably the best character available. And then out of these 2 locations, because we could also send them to the ruined ring world that we got. I need to take a look at where exactly that is. So that's just not as good, and so let's instead send the disciple over here. But basically we need to get another character. This one would be 308, not too bad. So yeah, I think we would hire this Baron here, the hardy loyalist trait, as soon as we have the available credits to do so. So we got another asteroid miner. We want to send them, I guess, over to here, because we're already getting that set up, and can't do these locations because they're not in our space yet. So it's really only that one or these ones here, which just aren't as good. So we'll go ahead and send them over to that one, and then this one's coming over to this location, which is closest. Make sure we get that all set up, and then it'll increase the production here in the next turn once we get that established.
A governor has been assigned, establishing a new core world. With this development, we can now expand the colony with various improvements, generate new citizens, and we even have the capability to build a shipyard.
So I got us +5 culture points and also some approval for 10 months, so it's nice that we followed that mission. And this is actually a pretty solid location. We're going to go ahead and build the capital here, get that population bonus, and then we need to get the planetary generator. You know, I think we're just going to put this next to the capital. Won't be able to make use of the military probably, unless we did it there. And the lagoon, since we don't care as much about approval. Yeah, I could always do that. So we'll get this constructed first, and then we'll build the shipyard. So get them set up a little bit for the future. And because of those culture points we just got, we can now get another trait. And again, we're just going to continue down these ones because they are the cheaper route to go. They're going to cost us 24 points to unlock those. Well, if we wanted to get this one here, it's going to be 36 points. So yeah, they just keep on getting more expensive. So, you know, these discounts are always going to make it so it's better to just stick with this ideology unless we get a better discount here. It's 9% currently. I don't think anything else is very high. We got 1% there. So yeah, we're going to be sticking with the totalitarianism. And I think that the obedience is the best option. Citizen expectations are lowered by 20%. And citizens with the totalitarianism trait, and a lot of citizens have that, are going to increase our production, our manufacturing by 25%. Also will spawn the support ship, the Enforcer. So that'll be really good for us to get. And so now we have that support ship available to increase our military strength. Because this is a cruiser, guys. So it's the most powerful ship we got so far with a combat rating of 7. If you compare it to the only other combat ship we have, which is this fighter, it has a combat rating of 6, so not that much higher. However, it does have quite a bit more hit points. But remember, this is a support ship, so you gotta look at the effects you're getting here. So it gives 25% manufacturing to worlds in this ship's radius. That's this circle here. Because citizens are compelled to work hard under the oppressive shadow of this menacing vessel. And then, of course, it's going to get the increased hit points and attack for whoever's assigned to it. So I guess they must have assigned somebody to that for us. This is Lady Elman, and her diligence and resolve aren't fantastic. The resolve's not too bad, but the diligence is pretty low. We can also get the Iron Fist. This is a flagship, so they can research the anomalies, and also gives the 20% manufacturing, so 5% lower than this one here. But we'd have to assign somebody to that. And really, I'd prefer to get a combat ship once we get those available technologies. So unfortunately, we do have to end today's episode here, get defensive studies in 1 month. And so in the next episode, we're going to work on building our fleet. This military might of 6 is just too low. And because we're meeting other civilizations, so we're going to need to go to war with them soon. And we'll eventually run out of territory to expand to. I do hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Do hope to see you guys on the next one, and thanks for watching.